You scroll through your feed and it feels like everyone else is living the life you should be living. They're getting promotions, traveling, buying houses, falling in love, launching businesses, and still trying to figure things out. You tell yourself not to compare, but you do it anyway. It's almost automatic. You start wondering, what's wrong with me? Why am I behind? Why does everyone seem so far ahead? If you've ever felt this way, you're not alone. But the truth is, this feeling isn't about where you are in life. It's about how your brain measures worth. Psychologists call this the social comparison trap. It's built into human nature. Long before social media, comparison was a survival tool. Our ancestors looked to others to gauge what was normal, who had more resources, more power, more stability. It was how we learned what to strive for. But today, that ancient instinct is being hijacked. We're no longer comparing ourselves to a few people in our village. We're comparing ourselves to thousands of filtered, curated versions of success every day. And your brain, overwhelmed with all that data, starts sending one painful message. You're not enough. Here's the psychology behind it. When you see someone doing better than you, whether in career, relationships, or happiness, your brain releases a small hit of cortisol, the stress hormone. That's because it interprets their success as a potential threat. On a subconscious level, it's like your mind is saying, they're surviving better than me. It's not jealousy, it's biology. Your nervous system is wired to treat social ranking as survival. And in the modern world, it creates a constant background hum of anxiety. But there's something even more interesting. Your brain doesn't compare fairly. It compares upward. That means you're far more likely to notice people who seem more successful than those who are behind you. This phenomenon is called upward social comparison, and it's one of the main reasons people feel perpetually behind. You could be doing fine, objectively good, but your brain filters out balance. It only highlights what you lack. And here's the trap. Every time you compare and feel inferior, your brain strengthens that neural pathway. Over time, you start measuring your self-worth externally through achievements, likes, or milestones. You stop asking, am I growing? And start asking, am I keeping up? The result is a quiet form of burnout where you're constantly busy, constantly striving, yet never satisfied. But the feeling that everyone is ahead is also deeply tied to time perception. In psychology, we experience life through what's called a subjective timeline. That means we mentally compare our current self to an imagined version of where we thought we'd be by now. And that imaginary version? It's often built from other people's highlight reels. So when reality doesn't match the fantasy, it feels like failure even when you're actually on track. The truth is, life isn't linear. It's cyclical. Everyone moves at different speeds because everyone's story, struggle, and emotional timing are different. But your brain doesn't like uncertainty. It likes structure. So when you see others moving faster, your brain assumes they've figured it out and you haven't. What it doesn't see are the hidden trade-offs, the stress, sacrifices, the self-doubt they carry too. You're comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's final edit. And here's a fascinating detail. Psychologists have found that people who feel behind are often the ones with the strongest sense of ambition. They feel the gap between where they are and where they want to be so vividly that it creates constant pressure. But that pressure isn't proof that you're failing. It's proof that you care. You have vision. You see possibility. The problem is not your ambition, it's the comparison. Lens distorting how you view it. One of the most powerful mindset shifts you can make is this. Stop using someone else's timeline to measure your worth. Everyone's path is customized by invisible factors: family background, emotional healing, opportunities, timing, even luck. You can't duplicate someone else's journey because your ingredients are different. When you walk your own path, you stop needing to be ahead. You just need to be aligned. Another hidden factor behind this feeling is the dopamine effect of progress. Your brain releases dopamine when it detects improvement, but only when you notice it. If you're too focused on others, you miss your own progress entirely. You rob yourself of the reward your brain is trying to give you. That's why gratitude and reflection aren't just feel-good practices, they're psychological resets. They rewire your mind to recognize your wins. Realize feeling behind is actually a normal part of personal growth. It's a sign you're evolving. You only feel left out when you're aware of a higher version of yourself trying to emerge. It's discomfort, but it's productive discomfort. It's your potential knocking, saying, hey, we can do more. The key is to channel that feeling into motion, not self-punishment. Try this next time you catch yourself thinking, everyone's ahead. Pause and ask, ahead at what? Life isn't a race with a single finish line. Someone might be ahead financially, but struggling emotionally. Someone might have love, but not peace. Someone might have confidence, but no rest. Everyone's ahead in different categories, and everyone's behind in others. So what if, instead of chasing timelines, you started trusting timing? The people who seem ahead aren't better, they're just in a different chapter. And your chapter might be building foundations that no one sees yet. But those are the chapters that create real strength, remember. Comparison only steals your joy when you forget your individuality. There's no universal schedule for success, healing, or happiness. You're not lighter, just on your own clock. And that clock doesn't need to match anyone else's. So next time you feel like everyone else is passing you by, remind yourself, there's no race here. You're not behind. You're becoming. And if this message resonated with you, you love exploring the psychology of self-worth comparison and emotional growth, make sure to subscribe to Psyche Edge. Join us as we decode the hidden forces that shape how we think, feel, and grow. Because understanding your mind is the first step to reclaiming your peace.